Chapter 4 Counteroffer. Would you like to know why I rejected the much sought-after offer from the triad? There was a good reason for it. I don't want to only pick one. Even though I was given countless offers, I could only pick one. Once you decided to become an acolyte, that was it. You couldn't undo your decision or become someone else's acolyte. Similar to being restricted to only one class in a video game, it was how the system operated. Before regressing, I became Orcus's acolyte. However, I only later learned that there was, in fact, a way to obtain multiple classes. By getting acknowledgement from the triad, you could break the rules of the system and be selected as the acolyte of all three gods. It's time to get that acknowledgement. Normally, you could only become the acolyte of all three gods by proving your worth over a long time. However, I planned on condensing that process. I have no intention of only selecting one of them. If I had to pick, the god of time would be the best choice, but I also wanted the skills of the other gods. That's why I rejected them to make a counteroffer. God of time, god of the underworld, and goddess of concord. I would like to make a proposal. I looked like I was talking to myself, but I knew the triad was watching me. I have no desire of being an acolyte to only one of you. I've shown such exceptional abilities, yet I can only receive skills from one of you? That doesn't seem fair. Does it? I continued to talk to the air like a lunatic. That's why I want to be an acolyte for all three. If you accept my proposal, please respond in some way. I waited. There was no response for quite a while, but I continued to leisurely wait. I can't know for sure, but they're likely discussing it with each other. They love to discuss anything and everything. I knew it would take some time, but their reply was taking longer than I expected. I had no choice but to threaten them. Why aren't you answering? Should I just become an acolyte for a different transcendent spirit? Transcendent spirits and the triad were fundamentally different beings. Transcendent spirits were acknowledged for being special during their lifetime, and the level of their soul ascended. As for the triad, they were gods to the very core and beings of an entirely different caliber. Most importantly, transcendent spirits were servants of Ammon, making them enemies of the triad. The triad did not wish for humans to become the acolytes of such spirits. They'll have to quickly come to a decision, or the talent they wanted to scout will end up going over to a transcendent spirit. The threat must have worked because I got a reply right away. The god of time Kairos asks if you are sure you want to select all three. The god of the underworld Orcus complains, saying you're arrogant for a human. The goddess of concord, Harmonia, tries to dissuade you, saying that becoming an acolyte for multiple gods breaks the balance. Though I got an answer, the responses were negative. I really want to choose all three of you, but since you guys don't want it, I'll have to pick some other transcendent spirit. Good thing I got plenty of offers. I waved my finger, pretending to read offer messages, and immediately got another response. The god of time Kairos accepts your proposal of becoming an acolyte for all three gods. The god of the underworld Orcus strongly refuses. The goddess of concord Harmonia says it goes against the rules and says no. Looks like there are more nays. What should I do then? The god of time Kairos asks you to wait a moment while they discuss amongst themselves. Okay, but be quick. I crossed my arms and hung back. I cleared the first floor faster than anyone without becoming an acolyte. There's no one else like me. There was no way they would let a talent like me fall into the hands of the god of destruction, Ammon. They'll have no choice but to accept my proposal. As I thought, the god of time Kairos thanks you for waiting. He says that, after deliberation, they have agreed to make you an acolyte of all three gods. The god of underworld Orcus says that there is a condition. You must prove your worth one more time. The goddess of concord Harmonia explains that this condition is necessary since they are taking an enormous risk. I knew they'd be like this. It was the same thing they'd said before I became an acolyte of all three gods in my first life, that I had to prove my worth. They mentioned they would have to pay a serious price in order for all three to imbue their powers into me, and so they needed me to show that I would be worth it. At the time, as an acolyte of the god of the underworld, I proved myself by setting a record on the 180th floor. That enabled me to receive the power of all three gods, thus making me extremely powerful. It was still no use against Amon. That's why I cooked up a scheme to pull ahead. So all three of you will give me your powers if I can prove my worth? Then how about this? I'll clear the second to the 9th floor without resting, all as a normal human like right now. Will that be enough to prove myself? The god of time, Kairos, says that will suffice and nods his head. The god of the underworld, Orcus, warns that they won't take responsibility if you fail. The goddess of concord, Harmonia, says that she will gladly accept you as an acolyte of the triad if you succeed. All right, bet. Since I had their word, the only thing left was to clear to the 9th floor. Would you like to go down to the next floor? You can return to Earth by selecting N. I pressed Y on the message I'd held off on earlier. Since it was still very early on, it would be a cakewalk. My surroundings quickly turned dark as a message popped up. You have entered the 2nd floor of the labyrinth. As time went on, more and more people became acolytes, and there were more stories from people on the 1st floor. The 1st floor's mission is defeating 100 dark slimes. Take note before you enter. Hey, I haven't entered the 1st floor yet. Could you explain how to defeat dark slimes? First of all, melee attacks are highly ineffective. You need to defeat them by using your skills. Are they hard to kill? I won't die fighting them, right? They will suck your blood if they manage to latch onto you. But they're not that dangerous. They're not even that fast. I just finished clearing the floor. They're easy to kill if you have light attribute skills. This guy's right. They solidify when you point your phone light at them. If you do that, you can kill them even without skills. Whoa, really? Thanks for the hot tip. But can you enter with your phone? Yep. But the internet doesn't work. Of course it wouldn't work. It's probably a different dimension. But you can take photos. I tried taking a video and it worked. Oh, so you could take videos and post them on YouTube? I'm calling it now. There's going to be a ton of awakened VTubers posting videos for money soon. Oh. Hey guy with the light attribute skill. Where did you get such a skill? It was given to me by my transcendent spirit, the radiant healer. How long did it take you to clear? 1 hour and 46 minutes. Wow, that's fast. It's slow compared to the record holder. The record holder? When you clear the 1st floor, a thing called the Hall of Fame pops up. It shows you the name of the fastest clearer. I saw that too. I think it was 47 minutes 47 seconds. What a monster. Who was it? Amon. Isn't Amon the name of the final boss? I don't know. That was the name of the record holder. I wonder if that's the guy who entered first. You might be right. We did get the clear notification not even an hour after that guy entered. Then he must be Amon. Why did he select Amon as his name for the Hall of Fame? Maybe he's a follower of Amon. People laughed for a bit, but that didn't last long. The 2nd floor of the labyrinth has been cleared by someone. The 3rd floor of the labyrinth has opened. 10 days have been added to the annihilation countdown timer. Time left until annihilation. 49 days, 22 hours, 10 minutes, 12 seconds. Huh? The 2nd floor was cleared. Already? Who was it? Holy fuck. I don't know who it is, but they sure are amazing. People were shocked by the notification, but that was just the beginning. I was relentless in clearing the labyrinth. Would you like to go down to the next floor? You can return to Earth by selecting N. As soon as I finished a floor, I headed to the next one right away. It's way too soon to return already. 4th floor, 5th floor, 6th, 7th. I cleared all the floors I could clear as a normal human, and I could clear even faster if I became an acolyte and obtained skills. The next record clear reward isn't till the 10th floor. There's no need to become an acolyte just for a faster clear. For the moment, I only wanted to demonstrate to the triad watching me how talented I was. Only then can I obtain the skill I wanted. Skill duplication. You've cleared the 8th floor of the labyrinth. You have obtained a very minor essence of dexterity as a reward for normal clearing the 8th floor. A white energy appeared in front of me before being absorbed into my body. You have absorbed a very minor essence of dexterity. Dexterity increased by 1. I received stats as a reward on each floor, but I didn't know how much I'd accumulated so far. That doesn't matter. Even if I can't see the value, they're still in effect. The only thing that sucked a little was not being able to use my inventory. You are the first to clear the 8th floor of the labyrinth. You have obtained a random lucky pouch, F, as a reward for first clearing the 8th floor. Obtained item has been stored in the inventory. I received multiple first clear rewards on my way, but I had yet to even lay my eyes on them. I needed to be able to open my inventory to even look at them. Making skills and the inventory only usable for acolytes. It was designed to force someone to become one. Dark slimes, dark rabbits, dark goblins, etc. As I descended, the monsters became stronger, but they weren't still too hard to defeat as a normie. They're pieces of cake as long as you know their weakness. Fortunately for me, I know the weakness of every monster. It was finally time to clear the 9th floor. Once I finish clearing it, I'll be able to become an acolyte of the Triad, as promised. I needed to show them my worth and make all 3 gods my patron spirits. Would you like to go down to the next floor? You can return to Earth by selecting N. There was not an ounce of hesitation as I clicked Y. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. There were many benefits to becoming an acolyte. You could open your status window as well as use the items in your inventory, but the best part was that you could use acolyte exclusive skills. The mere existence of skills makes awakening as an acolyte worth it. So why was I pushing off my awakening? To obtain a cheat-like skill from the Triad. Skill duplication. With that, I can become infinitely powerful. It was a trump card created by the Triad against Amon that they'd been reserving to give it the greatest acolyte. In my past life, I couldn't obtain the skill. I wasn't selected as the greatest acolyte. Unlike transcendent spirits, the Triad could only give away each of their skills once. They selected 12 acolytes, which included me. Among them, they selected the greatest acolyte and gave them skill duplication. They ended up dying before me. By setting a record on the 180th floor, I proved my worth and ascended into an acolyte of the Triad, becoming the final of the 12 acolytes. Because I was an acolyte having all 3 gods as my patron spirits, I managed to reach the 666th floor. I don't want to repeat the slow, back-breaking work I did back then. I needed to be acknowledged sooner so I could grow faster. I needed skill duplication, a skill I hadn't been permitted on my first try. It was why I made a counteroffer and went through all that trouble, to prove my worth to the Triad. You have entered the 9th floor of the labyrinth. Type: extermination. Condition: solo without receiving help from others. Mission: defeat 1 doppelganger. You may not exit until you clear the mission. Though I only had to defeat 1, that didn't mean it would be easy. The single kill was a sign of how tough they were. This is a piece of cake for me. Doppelgangers were gelatinous monsters and looked similar to dark slimes, but they were much bigger. They scanned their prey's information and transformed into an identical copy, which made them a tricky opponent. They don't just copy one's body, but even their skills, and use it all to fight. In other words, you had to fight a copy of yourself. Naturally, this wasn't an easy fight. Most people would not have experience with a mirror matchup. Doppelgangers have an experience advantage against early acolytes. Even with the same stats and skills, they're able to use their abilities more efficiently. That wouldn't work on me since I had a much greater advantage in terms of experience. Let's quickly defeat 1 and get out. I looked around in search of a doppelganger. From a distance, I spotted a slime hanging from a tree like a snake. As I approached, it slowly climbed the tree. It must have spotted me. FSHHH. It quickly transformed into a perfect body double of me. You don't have any skills, do you? I wasn't an acolyte but a normal human. Thus, neither I nor the doppelganger had skills. The fight would be decided by the difference in experience. Let's duke it out purely with physical prowess, I said. I had no intention of dragging it out since I knew the triad was watching. I'll start. I made the first move. Quickly closing the distance between us, I pulled back my shoulder, signaling a punch. It was merely a feint, but the doppelganger lowered its head in anticipation. Right into its face, I landed a spinning back kick. Crack! The doppelganger shrieked as it fell backward, spraying black blood. Before its body even fully landed on the ground, I jumped toward it. A falling knee smashed its face in. Following the sensation of its skull breaking, a message popped up. You've cleared the 9th floor of the labyrinth. I cleared the 9th floor in less than 10 minutes.